and today we're going to spend a lot of time together listening, practicing, and thinking in English. I want you to sit back, relax, and imagine that you are in a quiet room with me, like we are having a long, friendly talk. The topic of today is A2 level English listening practice, but not only practice, we are also going to think like an English native speaker. What this means is that I will guide you to listen in English, understand in English, and answer in English, without always translating back to your first language. At first it may feel a little strange, maybe a little slow, but step by step, your brain will begin to make English connections on its own. So let's begin in a very simple way. Close your eyes for a moment and listen to the sound of my voice. You hear English words, you hear the rhythm, you hear the flow. Just listen. Do not try to translate. Just let the sound move into your mind. When you were a baby, you listened before you spoke. You listened for many months, and only later you started to use words. Learning English is similar. You need to listen again and again until it feels natural. So let us do a little practice. I will say some simple sentences and you just listen. The sun is shining. The sky is blue. A boy is running in the park. A girl is reading a book. A dog is barking loudly. A cat is sleeping on the sofa. These are simple images in your mind. You do not need to translate. Just picture them and let the English words connect to the pictures. This is how you think like a native speaker. You do not stop and say, "What is the meaning in my language?" You only think of the picture, the action, the feeling. Let's continue. I want you to imagine a street in a small town. There are some cars, some shops, and some people walking. A woman is buying bread. A man is talking on his phone. Two children are eating ice cream. Can you see it in your head? When I say the words, you imagine the picture, and your brain starts to connect English words with real life. This is the first step. Many learners make a mistake. They try to memorize long lists of vocabulary without connection, without real pictures. But your brain remembers better when there is a story, when there is an image, when there is a sound. So in this video, I will give you many little stories, and we will practice together again and again, like you are inside the English world. Now, let us think about how native speakers hear English. When they listen, they do not separate every word. They do not stop after each sound. They hear the sentence as a flow. For example, I say, "How are you today?" Native speakers do not hear, "How are you today?" as separate blocks. They hear it together. How are you today? So, I want you to practice listening to the flow. Listen, I am going to the store.
Say it with me.
Do not break it. I'm going to the store. Again, I'm going to the store. Can you hear how I am becomes I'm? This is natural. This is how native speakers talk. You should not be afraid of these short forms. They are part of everyday English. Many learners learn the long form only. I am, you are, he is. But when they listen to real English, they feel lost because native speakers use short forms most of the time. So our practice will include this. Listen again. She's reading a book. Not she is, but she's.
Say it with me.
She's reading a book. Very good. The more you listen, the more you repeat, the more natural it becomes. I want to tell you a small story now, very simple. Just listen and imagine. There is a young man named David. David lives in a small house near the sea. Every morning David wakes up early. He opens his window and looks at the water. The sea is calm, the air is fresh, and he feels happy. After that, David makes some tea, he eats bread and butter, and he listens to the birds singing. Later, he takes his bicycle and rides to the town. On the way, he sees many things: children going to school, farmers working in the field, and dogs running around. When he arrives in town, he goes to a small shop. He buys fruit, vegetables, and some fish. Then he goes back home and cooks a meal. At night, David likes to read a book. Sometimes he listens to music, and then he goes to sleep. That is the story of David. Now I ask you, can you imagine David in your mind? Can you see his house, his bicycle, the sea, the birds, the shop? If you can, then you are learning to think in English. You are not translating the story word by word. You are living the story in your mind. This is exactly how you can improve listening and speaking skills. You create a picture, you connect the picture with the English words, and you practice again and again. Another important thing: do not be afraid of mistakes. Many learners worry too much. They say, I must be perfect. I must not make a mistake. But when children learn their first language, they make mistakes all the time. They say wrong words, they forget grammar, but parents understand them because the meaning is clear. Later, the mistakes get smaller. In English, it is the same. You will make mistakes, but that is normal. The more you listen and the more you practice, the better you become. So while we are practicing here, I want you to relax. If you cannot understand everything, that is okay. If you forget a word, that is okay. Just keep listening, keep repeating, and trust that your brain is learning slowly but surely. Now, let's do a little question and answer practice. I will ask a question, and I want you to answer quickly, even if your answer is simple. Are you ready? Here we go. Question: what is your name? Answer: my name is. Say your name. Question: where are you from? Answer: I am from. Say your country. Question: how old are you? Answer: I am years old. Question: what do you like to eat? Answer: I like to eat. Say your favorite food. Question: what do you do every morning? Answer: every morning I. Say your activity. Very good. These are simple questions, but they train your brain to answer in English quickly, without translating. When you meet native speakers, they often ask these small questions, and if you can answer fast, you feel more confident. Let's continue with another listening exercise. I will describe a place and you try to imagine it. It is a big city. The streets are full of cars. There are tall buildings everywhere. People are walking fast. Some people are drinking coffee, some are talking to friends, some are waiting for the bus. In the city there are many shops: clothes shops, shoe shops, bookshops, supermarkets. At night the lights are bright, and the city is noisy. Did you see it in your head? That is good practice. Now, a different place. It is a small village. There are green fields. There are cows and goats. A river runs near the village. Children are swimming in the water. Old people are sitting under a tree, talking and drinking tea. The village is quiet, peaceful, and simple. Did you see that too? Excellent. This exercise shows how listening creates pictures in your mind, and this helps you understand English directly. Now, let's do something fun. I will tell you a short dialogue, a small conversation between two people. Listen carefully. Anna: hello, Mark. How are you today? Mark: hi, Anna. I'm fine, thank you. And you? Anna: I'm good. Where are you going? Mark: I'm going to the library. I want to read a book. Anna: oh, nice. I'm going to the park to meet my friend. Mark: Okay, have a good time. Anna, thanks. See you later.
Mark, bye.
Did you understand the conversation? It is very simple but very common. Greetings, asking where you are going, talking about plans. You can practice this with your friends too. Change the names, change the places, but keep the structure. That is how you get better. We're going to keep doing this kind of practice for the rest of our time together, but I want you to notice something important. When you listen to English, do not only focus on the meaning of each single word. Focus on the tone, the sound, the rhythm. For example, when I say good morning, I say it with a rising sound at the end. When I say I am happy, the sound goes down at the end. This melody is important. If you only know the words but not the sound, your English will feel flat and difficult. So listen to how I speak, copy my sound, copy my rhythm. This is also thinking like a native speaker, because English is not only about words, it is about music too. A two-level learners, but useful for anyone who wants to train their ears and minds to think like an English native speaker. And today I want to help you feel even more comfortable, more natural, and more relaxed while you listen and repeat after me. Because listening is not only about hearing the sound, it is about catching the meaning without stopping too much. So let's imagine again. Imagine that you are sitting in a cafe in London. The door opens, people come in, some order tea, some order coffee, some sit with a book, some open their laptops. The sound of the coffee machine is loud. The waiter says, "Here you go," and puts a cup on the table. You listen to the voices around you, and they are speaking English very fast. At first you do not catch every word, but you start to feel the mood. Someone says, "Excuse me, can I get some sugar, please?" Another says, "No problem, take it." Another says, "Thanks so much." You see how natural and short the words are. No one speaks like a textbook. They use small phrases, quick answers, so when you listen you should not worry if you miss one or two words. The important part is to feel the idea and slowly you will catch more. So let us practice by repeating some everyday cafe conversations. Listen and repeat after me. Can I have a cup of tea, please? Again, can I have a cup of tea, please? Now, would you like milk? Again, would you like milk? Next. Yes, just a little. Again, yes, just a little. Then, anything else? Again, anything else? And answer, no thank you, that's all. Repeat, no thank you, that's all. And you see, these short exchanges are what you will hear in real life. And the more you train your ear, the faster you will understand them without thinking. Now imagine the waiter comes and says, "How's everything with your food?" And you answer, "It's very good, thank you." You see, not complicated, just polite, simple answers. And this is the style of English that helps you sound natural, not heavy, not forced, just light and clear. Now, let's do a longer listening story, and I want you to really imagine the details as I speak. So close your eyes if you can and listen carefully. There is a woman named Maria. She is 25 years old and she works in an office. Every morning she wakes up at 7. She takes a shower, gets dressed, and eats a small breakfast, usually bread, cheese, and tea. She leaves her house at 8 and takes the bus to the office. On the bus, she often listens to music or reads messages on her phone. When she arrives at the office, she says good morning to her colleagues. She turns on her computer and checks her emails. Her boss sometimes comes and asks questions. Sometimes he gives her new tasks. Maria works until 1 o'clock and then she goes to lunch with her friend Sarah. They like to eat at a small restaurant near the office. After lunch, they walk a little and talk about their lives. Then they return to the office and continue working until 5 o'clock. After work, Maria usually goes to the gym. She runs on the treadmill, she lifts some weights, and she stretches. After the gym, she goes home. She cooks dinner, sometimes pasta, sometimes rice with vegetables. She eats, washes the dishes, and then watches a TV show before sleeping at 11. This is Maria's day, and I want you to notice how normal and simple it is. But when you listen, you should not think in your first language. You should imagine Maria, see her bus, see her office, see her gym. And that way your brain is connecting the English words with the pictures directly, and this practice will make you faster. Now, let's play with some questions from Maria's story, and you try to answer quickly. Where does Maria work? She works in an office. What time does she wake up? She wakes up at 7. How does she go to the office? She takes the bus. Who does she eat lunch with? She eats lunch with her friend Sarah. What does she usually do after work? She usually goes to the gym. What time does she go to sleep? She goes to sleep at 11. You see how these small questions help you check your listening, but more importantly, they help you speak without long thinking, and if you practice this often, you will become faster at conversations because you'll be used to answering small questions quickly, just like native speakers. Let's shift a little and talk about sounds because many learners at A2 level have trouble with listening to connected speech. Connected speech means how words change when they come together. For example, when I say, I want to go, many learners expect to hear each word separate. I want to go. But in natural speech, it sounds like, I want to go. And if you do not know this connection, you may think it is a different phrase. So it is very important to practice hearing these small changes. Let's try some together. Listen carefully and repeat. I want to go becomes I want to go. Say it with me. I want to go. Next, I'm going to eat becomes I'm going to eat. Repeat. I'm going to eat. Next, did you eat becomes did ya eat. Repeat. Did ya eat. Next, what are you doing becomes what ya doing. Repeat. What ya doing? These are very common. You will hear them in movies, in TV shows, and in real conversations. And if you train your ear now, you will not be confused later. So keep practicing these sounds, even if at first it feels strange. Now another listening story, this time about a young boy named Ollie who lives in a village. Ollie is 12 years old. Every morning, he helps his father in the garden. They grow vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers. After helping in the morning, Ollie goes to school. He studies English, math, and science. After school, he plays football with his friends. Sometimes he goes swimming in the river. In the evening, Ollie helps his mother with dinner. They eat together. They talk about their day. And then Ollie does his homework. Before sleeping, he likes to read a comic book. This is Ollie's life. Simple but happy. Now again, I want you to imagine it. The garden, the vegetables, the football game, the river, the dinner table, the comic book. This is how you connect the English to real pictures, and this is how you build natural understanding. No need for translation, just pure connection. Let's practice questions from Ollie's story. How old is Ollie? He is 12 years old. Where does Ollie live? He lives in a village. What does he do in the morning? He helps his father in the garden. What vegetables do they grow? They grow tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers. What does Ollie do after school? He plays football with his friends. What does Ollie like to read before sleeping? He likes to read a comic book. Very good. These small exercises make you ready for real-life listening. One more important thing about listening, sometimes you will not understand everything, but that is normal. Even native speakers sometimes do not catch every single word in a noisy place. The secret is not to stop. The secret is to keep listening and guess from the context. For example, if you hear blah blah tomorrow blah blah meeting, you can guess that the person is talking about a meeting tomorrow. Even if you miss some words, that is enough to follow the conversation and your brain will fill the gap. So practice not stopping, practice continuing, and trust that understanding grows with time. And now let's try a fun listening game. I will describe someone and you guess who it is. Ready? This person wears a uniform. This person drives a big yellow bus. this person takes children to school. Who is it? It is the bus driver. Next, this person works in a hospital. This person helps sick people. This person wears white clothes. Who is it? It is the doctor or nurse. Next, this person teaches students. This person writes on the board. This person asks questions. Who is it? It is the teacher. Next, this person cooks in a restaurant. This person makes food for customers. Who is it? It is the chef. You see how fun and easy it can be. You listen, you imagine, you guess, and your brain works faster and faster. I want you to relax and enjoy this because it is not only study, it is also a chance to travel in your imagination, to meet new people, to hear new stories, and to make English part of your daily life. So let's start today with a new story about a young couple named James and Emily. They live in a small apartment in the city. Every morning James wakes up first, he makes coffee, and then he prepares breakfast for both of them. Emily usually wakes up a little later. She takes a shower, gets dressed, and joins James at the table. After breakfast, James goes to work in an office. He takes the train. Sometimes he listens to podcasts. Sometimes he just looks out the window. Emily works as a teacher, so she walks to her school. She greets her students, teaches them math and English, and spends the morning helping them learn. At lunchtime, James eats with his colleagues in the cafeteria. Emily eats with other teachers in the school canteen. After work, James sometimes goes to the supermarket to buy food. Emily sometimes goes to the library to borrow books for her students. In the evening, they come back home. They cook dinner together, sometimes pasta, sometimes chicken with rice, sometimes soup and bread. They sit together, talk about their day, and then watch a movie or read before sleeping. And I want you to notice how clear and simple the structure of their day is. Nothing strange. Nothing difficult. But when you listen in English and imagine their lives, you are training your mind to connect words with real pictures. And this is exactly what makes you think in English, not just study English. Let's practice some questions about James and Emily to check your listening. Where do James and Emily live? They live in a small apartment in the city. What does James do in the morning? He makes coffee and prepares breakfast. How does James go to work? He takes the train. What does Emily do? She works as a teacher. Where does James eat lunch? He eats in the cafeteria with colleagues. Where does Emily sometimes go after work? She goes to the library. What do James and Emily do in the evening? They cook dinner, talk about their day, and watch a movie or read. Excellent. And when you answer these questions quickly, you're not only remembering the story, you're practicing fast thinking in English. Now let us shift into another type of practice. I will describe two pictures with words, and you must imagine them clearly. The first picture is of a beach. The sand is white. The water is blue. The sun is shining. Children are playing with a ball. Some people are swimming. Some are lying on the sand. A man is reading a book under an umbrella. Can you see it in your mind? Now the second picture is of a mountain. The air is cold. Snow covers the top. Some people are climbing, some are taking photos. A family is drinking hot tea at a small cabin. A dog is running in the snow. Can you see it too? Now compare them. The beach is hot. The mountain is cold. The beach has water. The mountain has snow. The beach is flat. The mountain is tall. You see, listening is not only about understanding words, it is about seeing, feeling, comparing, and making English alive inside your thoughts. Now I want to train your ear with common short dialogues that you will hear often in daily life. So listen carefully and repeat after me. A. Hello, how are you, B? I'm fine, thanks, and you, A? I'm good, B. Nice to see you, A. Nice to see you too. Now another. A. Excuse me, do you know the time? B. Yes, it's 3 o'clock. A. Thank you. B. You're welcome. Now another. A. Can you help me find the station? B. Sure, go straight and then turn left. A. Thank you very much. B. No problem. And another. A. What would you like to eat? B. I would like some chicken and rice, please. A. Anything to drink? B. Yes, a glass of water. A. Okay, coming right up, and last one. How much is this shirt, B? It's $20, A. Can I pay by card, B? Yes, of course, you see how natural these little exchanges are. And if you listen to them again and again, you'll be ready when you hear them in real life. Your ear will say, yes, I know this pattern. And you will answer fast. Let's take a longer story again, this time about an old man named Mr. Brown. He is 70 years old and he lives in a quiet village. Every morning he wakes up early, he feeds his chickens and he waters his plants. After that he takes a walk to the village shop. He buys some bread and milk. He greets the shopkeeper and asks about the news. Then he goes back home and reads the newspaper. In the afternoon, he likes to sit in his garden. He drinks tea and watches the birds. Sometimes his grandchildren come to visit. They run around the garden, they play with the chickens, and they laugh. Mr. Brown smiles and tells them stories from his past. In the evening, he cooks a simple dinner, maybe soup or rice. He eats slowly, and then he listens to the radio before going to sleep. This is Mr. Brown's life. Simple but peaceful, and I want you to imagine it because when you picture his chickens, his garden, his grandchildren, you are connecting English to images, and that makes your understanding deeper. Questions about Mr. Brown. How old is he? He is 70 years old. Where does he live? He lives in a quiet village. What animals does he have? He has chickens. What does he do in the morning? He feeds his chickens and waters his plants. What has he read? He reads the newspaper. What does he do when his grandchildren visit? He tells them stories. What does he listen to in the evening? He listens to the radio. Excellent. You are following well, and that is how listening becomes easier. I also want to talk about something important. When you listen to English, sometimes the speaker is fast, sometimes the accent is different, British, American, Australian, Canadian, and you may think, oh no, this is too hard, but remember, your goal is not to understand every accent perfectly at once. Your goal is to train your brain to stay calm, to keep listening, and to find the meaning from the words you do catch. For example, if someone says, "Day mate, how's it going?" which is Australian, you may not know every sound, but you can guess they're saying hello, how are you? So stay calm, and over time your brain will adjust to many accents, but only if you keep listening, so do not be afraid, just keep practicing. Now, let's practice listening with numbers, because numbers in English can be tricky, so I will say some and you repeat: 25, 32, 48, 56, 69, 74, 81, 99, 105, 220, 567, 1,300, 3,450. Good. Now let's try with prices. Listen and repeat. $2.50, $3.99, $5.20, $7.75, $10.90. $5, $12, $25.50, $30, $110. Good. And this is useful because in shops and restaurants you will hear prices quickly, and if you practice now you will understand them easily later. Finally, for this part, let's do a listening imagination game. I will take you on a small journey, so just close your eyes and follow my words. You are walking in a park. The sun is warm. The grass is green. You hear birds singing. Children are laughing. You walk to a lake. The water is calm. A man is fishing. A woman is painting. You sit on a bench and breathe deeply. You feel relaxed, then you stand up and walk to the city. The cars are loud. People are busy. Shops are open. Music comes from a cafe. You buy a sandwich and sit near the fountain. You listen to people talking. Some are tourists, some are locals. You hear many sounds. Then you walk back home. The street lights shine. The night is cool. You feel tired but happy. This journey is not real, but in your mind it is alive. And it is alive in English, and that is the secret. Practice enough, and English will not be just a language you study. It will be a world you live in. I want you to imagine we are walking through different parts of life together, because real English comes from real situations. So first, let's take a trip to a supermarket. Picture it now. The doors open automatically. People are pushing trolleys. Children are running around. Music is playing softly in the background, and you hear announcements like, "Today we have a special discount on apples and oranges." You walk to the fruit section. You see bananas, grapes, apples, melons, and pineapples. You hear a woman say, "Can you put 2 kilos of apples in the bag, please?" You hear a man say, "Where is the milk?" You hear another say, "I think it's in aisle 5. You see the cashier scanning items, beep, 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 and someone says, "Do you want a bag?" And the customer answers, "Yes, please." And then that will be $25. And the customer gives the card and says, "Here you go." And the cashier replies, "Thank you, have a nice day." You see how natural it all is, and when you listen to such conversations again and again, you train your ear to catch the rhythm, the key words, the polite expressions, and you become more ready for real life. Now, let's do some small dialogues from the supermarket. Listen and repeat. A. Excuse me, where can I find the bread? B. The bread is in aisle 7. A. Thank you very much. B. You're welcome. Another. A. How much are these bananas? B. They are $1.50 a kilo. A. I'll take 2 kilos, please. B. Sure, here you go. Another. A. Can I pay by card? B. Yes, of course, please insert your card. A. Thank you. B. No problem. You see, simple, clear, and useful, and the more you repeat, the easier it becomes. Now, let's go to another place. Imagine a train station. People are waiting on the platform. The train is coming. The announcement says, "The train to Oxford is now arriving at platform 2. People pick up their bags. They move closer to the edge. The train stops. The doors open. People go in. Some sit down, some stand. The conductor says, "Tickets, please." A man shows his ticket. Another shows his phone. Someone asks, "Excuse me, does this train stop at Reading?" The conductor answers, "Yes, it does." Another person asks, "How long is the journey?" The conductor replies, "About 45 minutes. And you see how ordinary and real this is, and how important it is to practice listening to such everyday exchanges. Let's do another listening story, this time about a girl named Hannah who studies at university. Hannah is 19 years old. She lives in a student dormitory with 3 other girls. Every morning she wakes up at 8. She has a quick breakfast of cereal and milk. Then she goes to her first class. Sometimes it is English, sometimes it is history, sometimes it is biology. She takes notes, listens carefully, and asks questions. At lunchtime, she eats with her friends in the cafeteria. They laugh and talk about their classes. After lunch, Hannah sometimes goes to the library. She studies quietly, reads books, and writes essays. In the evening, she likes to go to the gym or play volleyball with her friends. At night, she eats dinner. Then she studies again for a little while before watching a movie on her laptop. Then she goes to bed around midnight. This is Hannah's life. Busy, but fun. And I want you to imagine it clearly. Her dormitory, her classes, her library, her gym, her volleyball games, and by listening in English and picturing her life, you are training yourself to think in English. Questions about Hannah. How old is she? She is 19. Where does she live? She lives in a student dormitory. What does she eat for breakfast? She eats cereal and milk. Where does she sometimes go after lunch? She goes to the library. What sport does she play? She plays volleyball. What time does she go to bed? Around midnight. Very good. And again, fast answers train fast thinking. Now let us practice listening with times of the day because many learners find this hard. Listen carefully and repeat. 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:10, 8:20, 8:35, 9 o'clock, 9:50, 10 o'clock, 10:25, 11 o'clock, 11:55, 12 o'clock. Very good. Now let's practice with days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, now with months, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and you see, by listening and repeating you make these sounds natural, and you will not freeze when you hear them quickly. Now I want to train your ear with directions because in real life many people ask or give directions. Listen and repeat. A. Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the bank? B. Yes, go straight. Turn right at the traffic light. The bank is on the left. A. Thank you so much. B. You're welcome. Another. A. Where is the nearest bus stop? B. It's just across the street next to the supermarket. A. Thanks a lot. B. No problem. Another. A. How can I get to the hospital? B. Take the second left, then. Go straight for 5 minutes. The hospital is on your right. A. Thank you very much. B. Anytime. Excellent. And if you practice these again and again, when someone gives you directions in real life, you will not panic. You will follow the keywords and understand. Now another story, this time about a shop assistant named Tom. Tom works in a clothing store. Every day he opens the shop at 9. He checks the shelves. He makes sure the clothes are clean and tidy. He helps customers. He says, "Hello, can I help you?" He shows them shirts, trousers, and jackets. He answers their questions like, "Do you have this in a bigger size?" Or, "Can I try this on?" Sometimes people buy things, sometimes they do not. At lunchtime, Tom eats a sandwich in the back room. In the afternoon, he continues helping customers. At 6, he closes the shop, counts the money, and goes home. When he gets home, he eats dinner with his family, watches TV, and relaxes, and I want you to imagine Tom's shop, the clothes, the customers, the questions, and by imagining it, you are making English part of your memory. Questions about Tom. Where does he work? He works in a clothing store. What time does he open the shop? He opens at 9. What does he check? He checks the shelves. What does he ask customers? He asks, "Hello, can I help you?" What does he eat at lunch? He eats a sandwich. What time does he close the shop? He closes at 6. Excellent. Again, you are training your brain to think fast. And before we finish this part, let us do another imagination game. Close your eyes and listen. You are walking in a busy street. You hear cars, you hear people, you smell food from restaurants. You see a man selling flowers. You see a woman playing guitar on the corner. A child is laughing. A dog is barking. A bus is stopping. The driver opens the door. People get on. You cross the street carefully. You go into a small cafe. You sit by the window. You order tea and cake. You hear music playing. You see people smiling. You take a sip of your tea. You feel warm and relaxed. You look outside. The sun is setting. The lights are coming on. The city feels alive. And all of this is happening in your imagination, but also in English. And that is the power of listening practice. You're not only studying, you're living another life in English. And the more you do this, the more natural you become. A 2-level English listening practice where I guide you slowly but surely into thinking like a native speaker. And what we are doing today is even more important because now I want you to imagine not just single places or single people, but whole days filled with activities and sounds so that English becomes more than a language for you. It becomes a living world inside your head. So let us start with a story about a family, the Parker family. They live in a small house in the suburbs. There is a father, a mother, and 2 children. The father works as a bus driver. He wakes up early at 5 o'clock. He drinks tea, eats bread with jam, and then goes to drive his bus. The mother is a nurse. She works at the hospital. She starts at 8. So she wakes up at 6, makes breakfast for the children, prepares their school bags, and then takes them to school before going to work. The children, 1 boy and 1 girl, go to the same school. The boy is 12, the girl is 9. They study English, math, science, and art after School they play with their friends, sometimes football, sometimes skipping, sometimes riding bicycles. When evening comes, the father comes home tired from driving all day. The mother comes home after a long shift at the hospital. They cook dinner together, maybe rice and curry, maybe pasta and salad. They all sit at the table, talk about their day, laugh together, sometimes argue a little. Then they clean up, watch some TV, and the children go to bed around 9. Parents drink tea and talk quietly before sleeping around 11. This is the Parker family's day. And as you listen, I want you to see it in your head: the small house, the school, the bus, the hospital, the dinner table. And when you do this, you are practicing real English listening. Now, let us check with small questions. Who is the father? The father is a bus driver. Who is the mother? The mother is a nurse. How many children are there? There are 2. What time does the father wake up? He wakes up at 5. What time does the mother start work? She starts at 8. How old are the children? The boy is 12. The girl is 9. What do the family do in the evening? They cook dinner, eat together, watch TV, and then go to bed. Very good. You see how fast answers make your brain sharp in English. Now I want to train your ear with weather words, because weather is a big part of daily conversation. Listen and repeat. It is sunny, it is raining, it is cloudy, it is windy, it is snowing, it is hot, it is cold, it is warm, it is cool, it is stormy, it is foggy. Now I will say small sentences and you repeat. Today it is sunny. Yesterday it was rainy. Tomorrow it will be cloudy. Last week it was very hot. Next month it might be cold. The wind is strong, the snow is falling, the fog is thick. You see how simple and common these are, and if you listen often, you will always be ready to talk about weather. Now another story, this one about a young man named Sam who works in a restaurant. Sam is 22 years old. He is a waiter every day. He wakes up at 7, eats breakfast, and goes to the restaurant. He puts on his uniform, a white shirt and black trousers. He sets the tables with forks, knives, and glasses. When customers arrive, he smiles and says good morning or good afternoon. He gives them menus, takes their orders, and brings food from the kitchen. Sometimes people ask questions like, "Can I have extra cheese?" or "Can you bring some water, please?" Sam always answers politely, "Yes, of course." Sometimes people complain the food is too cold or the soup is too salty. Sam apologizes and brings another dish. At lunchtime, the restaurant is very busy. People come in and out all the time. Sam walks quickly, carrying plates and drinks. In the evening, when the restaurant closes, Sam cleans the tables and chairs, puts everything in order, and goes home tired but happy. He eats dinner, showers, and sleeps, because the next day he has to do it again. This is Sam's life in the restaurant. Imagine it clearly: the tables, the food, the customers, the uniform, the busy lunchtime. Questions about Sam: what is his job? He is a waiter. Where does he work? He works in a restaurant. What does he wear? He wears a white shirt and black trousers. What does he put on the tables? He puts forks, knives, and glasses. What do customers sometimes ask? They ask for extra cheese or water. What happens if food is cold or salty? He apologizes and brings another dish. What time is the restaurant very busy? At lunchtime. Very good. Again, your ear is learning to catch the key parts. Now let us practice listening with places in town. Repeat after me: the bank, the post office, the hospital, the school, the library, the bus station, the train station, the police station, the fire station, the park, the cinema, the restaurant, the cafe, the supermarket, the bakery. Now I will make small sentences. I am going to the bank. She is at the post office. He works in the hospital. We are waiting at the bus station. The children are playing in the park. My friend is reading in the library. My parents are shopping in the supermarket. We are eating in a restaurant. You see how easy it is when you practice again and again. Now I want you to close your eyes again and join me on a little walk. You wake up in the morning, you put on your shoes, you leave your house, and you walk down the street. The sun is shining. You see children going to school. You hear birds singing. You smell fresh bread from the bakery. You go inside the bakery. You say good morning to the baker and buy some bread. You walk further. You pass the park. You see old people sitting on benches. You hear children laughing. You see a man walking his dog. You keep Walking, you reach the library. You go inside. It is quiet. People are reading books. Students are writing on their laptops. You choose a book. You sit by the window and read for a while. After that, you walk to the cafe across the street. You order coffee and sit outside watching cars and people passing by. You listen to conversations. You hear someone say, "How are you doing?" You hear someone else say, "Let's meet at 5." You listen to the city sounds and you feel calm and happy. This whole walk is in your imagination, but you lived it in English, and that is powerful practice. Now, another type of listening practice with feelings. Listen and repeat. I am happy. I am sad. I am tired. I am angry. I am excited. I am worried. I am relaxed. I am nervous. I am hungry. I am thirsty. I am bored. I am surprised. Now with sentences. I am happy today. She is sad because it is raining. They are tired after work. He is excited for the football game. We are worried about the exam. She is relaxed on holiday. They are nervous. Before the interview, I am hungry. Let's eat. I am thirsty. Give me some water. I am bored. Let's go out. He is surprised by the gift. These are simple, but you will hear them all the time. And if you listen and repeat, they will be natural for you too. Another story, this time about a shopkeeper named Amina. She owns a small grocery store. She opens it every morning at 7. She arranges fruits, vegetables, rice, sugar, flour, and tea on the shelves. Customers come all day. Some buy a little, some buy a lot. Amina smiles and says, "Good morning." She helps old people carry bags. She talks to children. She counts money and gives change. Sometimes she has to order more goods from suppliers. In the evening, she closes the shop, locks the door, and goes home. She cooks dinner with her family, eats, talks, washes dishes, and then prays before going to sleep. She wakes up again early the next day to do the same work. Her life is busy, but she feels proud because her shop helps her community. Imagine the shop, the fruits, the shelves, the customers, the smiling faces. Questions about Amina. What does she own? She owns a grocery store. What time does she open it? At 7. What does she arrange? She arranges fruits, vegetables, rice, sugar, flour, and tea. What does she say to customers? She says, "Good morning." What does she do for old people? She helps them carry bags. When does she close the shop? In the evening. Excellent. Now, before we close this part, let's play another imagination game. You are sitting on a bus. The bus is moving slowly through the city. You look out the window. You see tall buildings, shops, people walking. You hear the sound of the engine. You hear the driver say, "Next stop." You see a woman get off. You see a man get on holding a big bag. You continue riding. You see children in school uniforms crossing the street. You see a policeman directing traffic. The bus stops again. More people get off, more get on. Finally, you reach your stop. You press the button. You say, "Excuse me." As you move to the door, you step off and feel the cool air on your face. You walk home feeling relaxed, and everything you saw and heard was in English because that is how you trained your mind, and now English feels like part of your real world. Our long listening practice together, and I want you to feel proud that you stayed with me this whole time, because by listening carefully, by imagining the stories, by repeating the sentences, you have already trained your brain more than you think, and you are closer to thinking like a native English speaker. So let us keep going strong until the end. Today, I will take you through more real-life moments and give you more practice so you can live English, not only study it. So imagine first a small airport. It is early morning. People are lining up at the check-in desk. A woman is weighing her suitcase. A man is showing his passport to the staff. An announcement comes over the speaker saying flight number 234 to Paris is now boarding at gate 5. You walk through security. The officer says, "Please take off your shoes and put your bag on the belt." You do it. You walk through the scanner. It beeps. The officer says, "Please step aside." But then he checks and says, "Okay, you can go." You walk to the gate. You see people waiting. Some are reading newspapers, some are drinking coffee, children are playing with toys. Finally, the gate opens. The staff smiles and says, "Good morning, please have your boarding pass ready." You walk down the tunnel. You enter the plane. You hear a flight attendant say, "Welcome on board. Please find your seat and fasten your seatbelt." You sit down. You hear people talking quietly. You hear the engine start. The plane begins to move, and soon you are flying. This is a full scene in English, and you can live it in your mind whenever you listen and practice. Now let us do some small dialogues from the airport. Listen and repeat. A. Can I see your passport, please? B. Yes, here it is. A. Do you have any bags to check in? B. Yes, one suitcase. A. Please put it on the scale. B. Okay, here you go. A. Thank you. Here is your boarding pass. Have a nice flight. B. Thank you very much. Another dialogue. A. Excuse me, where is gate number 10? B. It is down this hall, then turn left. A. Thank you. B. You are welcome. Another. A. Can I take this bottle of water through security? B. No, sorry, liquids are not allowed. Please throw it away. A. Okay, no problem. And you see how short and useful these are, and by listening often they will sound natural to you. Now let us go to another place, a hospital. Imagine the waiting room chairs are full. People are coughing. A nurse calls out a name. Mr. Ollie, please come in. Mr. Ollie stands up and walks to the doctor's room. The doctor says, Good morning. How are you feeling today? Mr. Ollie says, I have a headache and I feel tired. The doctor checks his temperature, checks his blood pressure, and then says, You need to rest, drink water, and take this medicine twice a day, Mr. Ollie says, Thank you, doctor. The nurse writes the instructions and Mr. Ollie goes home. This is a very common type of conversation, and if you practice listening to it now, you will be calm if you ever have to do it in real life. Let's do a few hospital dialogues. What seems to be the problem? B. I have a sore throat and a cough. How long have you had it? B. For 3 days. Okay, I will give you some medicine. B. Thank you. Another. A. Please sit down. I will take your blood pressure. B. Okay, sure. A. It is a little high. You need to be careful. B. I understand. Thank you. Another. A. Do you have any allergies? B. No, I do not. A. Are you taking any other medicine? B. Only vitamins. A. Okay, thank you for the information. And you see how this is simple English, but very important. Now, let us take another story, this time about a student named Kareem. Kareem is 21 years old. He studies computer science at university. Every morning, he takes the bus to campus. He attends lectures on programming, math, and physics. He listens carefully, takes notes, and sometimes asks questions at lunchtime. He eats in the cafeteria, sometimes with friends, sometimes alone after lunch. He often goes to the library to work on his laptop. He writes code, he reads books, he prepares for exams. In the evening, Kareem plays football with his classmates or goes to the gym. Later, he returns home, eats dinner with his family, and then studies a little more before sleeping. Kareem dreams of working in a big technology company. One day, he wants to travel to another country and work as a programmer. Imagine Kareem's day, his bus, his lectures, his cafeteria, his laptop, his football, his dinner table, all in English, and your listening becomes alive. Questions about Kareem. How old is he? He is 21. What does he study? Computer science. How does he go to campus? By bus. What subjects does he attend? Programming, math, and physics. What does he do after lunch? He goes to the library to work on his laptop. What does he dream of? He dreams of working in a big technology company. Excellent. Now, let us practice listening with travel situations. Repeat after me. A. Excuse me, does this bus go to the city center? B. Yes, it does. A. How much is a ticket? B. $2. A. Can I pay with cash? B. Yes, you can. Another. A. How long is the train journey? B. About 1 hour. A. Thank you very much. B. You're welcome. Another. A. Can I see the menu, please? B. Yes, here you are. A. What is the soup of the day? B. Tomato soup. A. I will have that, please. B. Certainly. And you see again how these small exchanges prepare you for real travel moments. Now, let us imagine a holiday trip. You wake up early, you pack your bag with clothes and a camera, you take a taxi to the station, you buy a ticket to the seaside town, you sit on the train and look out the window. You see green fields, cows, and sheep, mountains in the distance. After 2 hours, you arrive at the seaside. You walk to your hotel, check in, and put your bag in the room. Then you walk to the beach. The sun is bright, the water is blue. You swim, you eat ice cream. You walk on the sand in the evening. You eat dinner in a restaurant, grilled fish, salad, fresh bread, then you watch the sunset and feel relaxed. Later you go back to the hotel and sleep deeply. This is a holiday trip and you lived it in English. Now for the last part of our long journey together, I want to give you another imagination exercise. This one mixing many places. You wake up in your room, you open the window and see the street below you, hear birds singing, you wash your face, brush your teeth, eat breakfast. Then you leave the house, you take the bus, you listen to people talking around you, you hear someone say, I am late for work, you hear another say, I will call you later. You arrive in town. You walk to the market, you buy some fruit, you greet the shopkeeper, you go to the park, you sit on a bench and eat an apple, you listen to music on your phone, you see children playing, you see an old man feeding pigeons, you stand up and walk again, you go into a bookstore, you look at books, you buy one, you pay the cashier. She says, have a nice day, you say thank you and leave. You meet a friend at the cafe, you order tea, you talk about life, you laugh, you listen, you understand. Later you take a taxi home, you arrive. Tired but happy, you sit on the sofa. You open your book, you read until the evening, then you cook dinner, watch some TV, and finally go to sleep. This is a whole day lived in English. And when you do this practice enough times, you will stop thinking of English as a school subject, and you will start thinking of it as a natural part of your daily life. So, my dear friends, this is the end of our very long practice together. And I hope you enjoyed this journey as much as I enjoyed guiding you. Remember, the secret is not speed, the secret is habit. If you listen a little every day, if you imagine the pictures, if you answer small questions, if you repeat short dialogues, then slowly your brain will change, and English will not be a wall in front of you, it will be a window that you can look through easily. So keep practicing, keep listening, keep smiling, and never be afraid of mistakes, because every mistake is a step forward. I am proud of you, and I know you can do it. Thank you for staying with me today, and I will see you again very soon on English Lab with me. Jenny, goodbye for now, and keep thinking in English.